Hi everybody, today I'm going to do an interesting exploration. We're going to look at the traditional rich content editor in Canvas, and our institution is about to switch over to a new rich content editor, and I want to do a compare and contrast exercise to show how the functionality is similar and where it differs and what to expect when we eventually make that change. So I have two sandbox courses opened, and I'm going to create an announcement in both sandboxes. The announcement will be the same in terms of the content and the structure of the page, and I'll just walk through the different tools from the rich content editor. The rich content editor on the Canvas page is this portion above the work area where you can format text and insert and modify elements on the page. So I'm going to speed up the time a little bit and create a basic announcement that you would see in a typical Canvas course. And here I have a simple announcement. I'll go into the edit view and walk us through what it is, but essentially I have a banner at the top of the page, I have a header, I have some text, I searched for a picture, a Creative Commons picture that I've uploaded from Flickr, and I embedded an interactive element from the internet. So it's pretty simple stuff, so let's walk through what I did. You'll have a title for your announcement. The banner is something I created on a platform called Canva without the S, but you can create a banner on PowerPoint or even in Word. In the classic rich content editor, in order to upload a file, if I haven't already uploaded it to the course files, is to click on images on the right, and then I clicked upload an image and I searched for the file and I placed it in a folder. In order to create a header 2, you highlight the text, and from the drop down you would create header 2. And when you hit a hard return, then it returns it to paragraph, which is typical. In order to insert the picture, I clicked on embed image and I just searched for Flickr, and I searched for the first thing that came up for computer. And these are all Creative Commons, they're safe to use in your classes. I have another paragraph, and then I copied some embed code from a Padlet interaction, and I pasted it using the insert media, and I pasted it on the embed tab. Now I'll make one modification before we move on to the new rich content editor, and that's that I want this image, I want to resize it, and I want it to float over to the right. So I'm going to add a little bit of styling. I can either stretch the corners of the picture to make it smaller, or I can click on the embed image when it's selected, and I can choose a determined width and height that way. I'm going to go to the HTML editor on the right hand column over here, and I'm going to look for my image. Here I can see the image, and I'm going to put just a little bit of styling in there. Essentially what I'm asking the browser to do is put it on the right side of the text and then give it a little bit of a margin on the left side and on the bottom. And I'll go ahead and click save. And now you can see my announcement. I'm sure that you're familiar with working with the rich content editor, so none of this process should have been new to you, but let's explore what the new rich content editor will look like, and we will recreate that page. So in the topic, this is the same. I'm going to type welcome to class. And now things are a little bit different. How am I going to add a picture? I'm going to click on the drop down and I'm going to upload a picture. Since it's not a course image, I haven't uploaded it previously. I'll click upload a picture. And now I can drag and drop the picture from my computer, or I can click on the button and browse it from my computer. Here's my banner. I'm going to put in some alt text. Maybe just make it decorative since it's only a banner. And here's my start. Now the announcement had an overview section, so I'm going to put overview. I'll highlight that. Instead of being on the right lower portion of the rich content editor, now my formatting is on the left hand side. I'm going to put that as a heading 2. I'll go ahead and drop in some boilerplate text. And now the other element that we wanted was to put a stock picture in here. In the old rich content editor, the stock pictures came from Flickr. But now if I upload an image, I can see that Canvas has partnered with Unsplash. I think that Unsplash is a far superior platform for Creative Commons pictures. It's very high resolution and there's a good variety and they're very professional. So I'm going to search for computer and I will just put the first image that appears. You'll want to describe your image. I'm just going to put it as decorative. but if you're going to use alt text, you would describe it in 1 to 2 sentences. Never say it's a picture of something because a screen reader already knows that it's a picture, so just go ahead and describe it. I will submit that. It's very large, and so I want to modify that. I can stretch the corners, or I can click on Image Options. This gives me a new window where I can determine the width and the height. So I'm going to put that at maybe 350. That looks more manageable. Now before we move on, I want to add some of that styling like I did on the previous announcement. So I'm going to hop over to the HTML editor. Previously the HTML editor was in the upper right hand corner. Now it is just an icon in the lower right hand corner. So I'll find the image tag and I'll add my style. Again, I'm just making the picture float on the right side of the text, and I'm putting a margin to the left and to the bottom just to give it a little bit of space so that the words don't come right up to the image. To exit out of the HTML editor and return to the rich text editor, you'd click on the button in the lower right hand corner. The last thing I will add is that Padlet. So I'm going to click on the media icon right here, and I'll go over to the embed tab. And this is where I can paste the code from my Padlet. You can also embed content from the internet by going to the HTML editor and putting the code where you want it on the page. If you notice that the window is a little bit narrow, you have the option to stretch out the window as well. So you can expand it slightly. And I can toggle the course navigation off as well if I want a little bit more space to work with. So let's take a look at what this announcement looks like in published view. It looks similar to our other announcement, just the way that we set it up was slightly different. Before I go on and show you some of the other features, let's do an accessibility check for this page. I'm going to click on the accessibility checker, and it's going to tell me that maybe I should apply a different alt text to the banner. I'll go ahead and apply that, and now it says that all of the issues are resolved. In the previous rich content editor, you also have the accessibility checker. It's in the upper right hand corner. If I check that, then I can see since I already put the alt text and identified the banner as decorative, then looks like everything checked out. So how else is the new rich content editor different? The placement of the things are different. This is a much more streamlined view, and you have control over the text, sizing, the paragraph and heading structure. You can see the basic elements: bold, italicize, font color, highlighting, superscripts or subscripts. I can also add or modify links to other places, hyperlinks on the course. Uploading images is different because instead of having something that pop up on the right side of the screen, instead I have it pop up in the middle, and I can easily search the computer, unsplash, or add a URL to an image that's on the internet and embed that. Media is also different in that I can drag and drop media or select it on the computer. I can record or embed all from this tab. Documents are the same thing. Instead of having the document menu on the right, you just drag and drop onto the screen. In order to get to third-party tools, such as Studio, then you'll click on the Apps icon. Aligning, bullet points, formatting, and tables, the functionality is all pretty similar. If you haven't noticed already, the new Rich Content Editor also gives you additional editing and inserting features. In addition to the icons on the Rich Content Editor, I can access many of these functions by clicking Insert. Formatting also gives us some improvements in that we can format headings and choose different fonts for our page. This is something that is new to the Rich Content Editor. Additional tools will give me access to my apps as well as word count. And finally, we have more details with table. These are the notable changes with the new Rich Content Editor. It's going to look and feel a little bit different, but in very little time you'll get used to it. And I think that you'll find these improvements useful.